The Responsibility to Protect by Amanda Houlet and Stéphanie Dallaire-Surmel. Hi everyone, my name is Amanda. And I'm Stephanie. Evans and Shawn's article, The Responsibility to Protect, explores the legitimacy of humanitarian interventions. They address the question whether it should be called the right to intervene or the responsibility to protect. It questions the possibility of a conflict with the sovereignty of the target country. Moreover, the authors expose the three needed conditions to a justified military intervention. Finally, they discuss the role and the importance of the United Nations and the Security Council. The responsibility to protect. The term right to intervene is seen as a violation of the sovereignty right and therefore has a negative connotation. Responsibility to protect denotes a humanitarian intention with a more positive connotation. Human rights and sovereignty. The authors assess that sovereignty implies a dual responsibility: externally to respect the sovereignty of other states, and internally to respect the dignity and basic rights of all the people within the state. Even if sovereign countries have the right to manage their country with their own laws, they still have the responsibility to respect human rights. Thus, if a country fails to respect the rights of its population, an international intervention would not be considered as a violation of its sovereignty. The authors suggest four prerequisites. First, it should be based on the right intentions. Second, it has to be used only in last resort. Third, the intervention has to use proportional means. And, and finally, it needs reasonable prospects of success. What does it mean? First, the right intentions should be oriented toward the overall benefit of the population. Last resort means that every other pacific option failed. Third, the means should be proportional to the conflict. And finally, the prospects of success. A military intervention is not legitimate if it has no real chance of success. The UN and the Security Council. They represent the international community and therefore should be in position to give the go-ahead to such interventions. Bentham's utilitarianism. Bentham argues that the highest principle of morality is to maximize happiness, the overall balance of pleasure over pain. Therefore, under this point of view, a military intervention would be justified if it ensures to preserve the overall happiness of the greatest number of people. This analysis, however, fails to respect human rights. Bentham's utilitarianism theory does not take into account human rights and the sovereignty right of the country in question. The only objective is to ensure the highest number of happiness. Thus, we would not recommend the utilitarian point of view to decide whether or not an intervention is legitimate. Libertarianism. From this point of view, an external intervention would be justified if the targeted country fails to respect everyone's freedom. It takes into account freedom and rights and therefore appears to be fairer than the utilitarian perspective.
According to Kant, every person is worthy of respect, not because we own ourselves, but because we are rational beings, capable of reason. We are also autonomous beings, capable of acting and choosing freely. Kant also believes that one should treat people as ends in themselves, meaning that one should not use another person as a way to obtain what they want. For example, a certain group of people should not murder another group of people as a means to gain power, since it would fail to respect his or her humanity as an end. A population, even a minority, should be treated equally, regardless of the country or location that they are from.
Aristotle believed that the situation that led to events of mass murder was reasonable and just. Genocides and slavery are fair? No, we do not agree with that theory.
We believe that interventions are legitimate in cases such as Kosovo and in the Rwanda genocide. The United Nations and the Security Council have the responsibility to intervene in such violent situations. In the example of Rwanda, the United Nations and the Security Council failed to protect human rights. Their interventions did not succeed to put an end to the conflict, therefore leading to hundreds of thousands of deaths. A utilitarian approach would have been in favor of military intervention from the United Nations in Rwanda in order to reduce the quantity of pain generated. A libertarian approach would also have favored an intervention in the Rwanda genocide due to the violation of people's liberty. So, based on Kant's theory, the United Nations should intervene in a situation such as the Rwanda genocide, since military intervention would have helped support basic human rights of the victims, since killing someone else deprives him of his life against his will. I think that Aristotle could believe that genocides such as the one that took place in Rwanda are just, based on the idea that having different social classes is necessary, and that one group of people having more power is natural. And the same way that Aristotle believes in slavery, he could have, to a certain extent, believed that situations that led to the events of mass murder were reasonable and just and would not have encouraged military intervention by the UN. Finally, we strongly believe that the better analysis of Evans and Sean's article are the libertarian and Kant's morality principles. Benson's utilitarianism fails to assure an adequate protection to all individuals. Moreover, we do not agree with Aristotle's theory of justice. We believe that everyone should benefit from the same rights and that genocides are only harmful for human rights and dignity.
Thank you for watching our video and we hope you all enjoyed it.